What's up, y'all? This is Britt Jones with Throwback Country Music. I am so excited. Sitting to my right is the one and only. She's been on the show before, Allie Colleen.
Hello.
Thank you for hanging out with us
Honored.
backstage at 3rd and Lindsley. It's my first time being at this venue.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm excited.
This is a great one. I was just telling, we were just talking about this venue, and there's a lot of venues in this town that sound really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lesser amount of venues in this town that sound really, really good on stage, like for us. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And this is a stage that I always love playing because it sounds good for us.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's always a big
It's a good
positive.
spot.
Just heard you do a little sound check. And what song was that?
It's called Break.
That was beautiful.
You like it?
Yeah, your
Thank
vocals
you.
are just like,
It's a conversation between like two wild horses. It's kind of like if like me and my girlfriends were all wild horses and like a cowboy came to get one of them, we'd all take bets like on how long before he like brought her back to the pasture. You know what I mean? Like you can't break that one, dog.
That's a
so it's
great-
just it's all about it's a conversation between wild horses of like they don't want what they can't break. Like there's nothing wrong with you because he let you go. Like they don't want what they can't break. Like don't worry about it.
oh, that's cool.
Pretty rad, right?
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Your ideas are really good.
Thank you.
Actually, we're going to get into the new single, but before that, you talking about wild horses. You have a passion for horses.
I do.
Yeah. So how many do you own?
I have two horses.
Two horses.
I've got Jack and Einstein.
Ah,
They're
nice.
exactly what you think. Jack is a dream. He's super sweet, lazy, blonde. Einstein is smarter than me and a pain in every part of my body. Yes.
So he knows what to do, but he don't do it.
He's smarter than I am. That's the problem, to be
that's
honest.
awesome.
I don't like that.
Are you a cat, dog person?
I'm a dog person.
Dog, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, cool. So you have a brand new song out. It came out in May. And I was listening to it a few times over and over, actually, on the way up to Nashville today. Grass on the Grave.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about how that came together. I read some of the story, but I want our listeners to hear how special that song has actually become since writing it.
I love Grass in the Grave. I think Grass in the Grave was definitely, so it was a title that I brought to the right, and I said, hey guys, like, there's a very obvious way I feel like to write this song. You know what I mean? There's a very like contemporary country way to write this song. We're gonna write it the alleyway today, if that's okay. Like just in the sense of it's like, I don't think I realized how many things take true like grief. You know what I mean? Like I thought losing somebody took grief in the sense of like losing somebody forever, like a death or a passing was something that was really grief. But since 2020, I feel like I've been in a state of grief the whole time, whether it's a state of grief of just like a way that I used to think, you know, that I don't think anymore. Letting go of things that maybe even mindsets, right? Like something's supposed to be this kind of way, and if it's not this kind of way, it's not right. And I feel like there's so many things that we attach ourselves to, and Grass in the Grave just gives you a space to both delicately and very like frustratedly process that grief spot. You know what I mean? And it just comes out of kind of like the verses are very sentimental and very much like what you would think a grief song would be, and the chorus is very much like, gosh darn it, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm very, very proud of the song, and it's created a lot of rooms, I feel like, for a lot of different people to sit in, which I'm very proud of.
Oh, I love that. I love the production on it.
Thank you.
To me, it sounded a little different than what I've heard you already do. But you've got several songs that the good
Yeah.
thing about Allie is that she's not pigeonholed into one style. I mean, this is I don't know. Not even sure what to say, but it is different than like some of the other stuff that I've listened
I
to.
grew up on, I really did. I grew up on like Christina Aguilera and Avril and Nickelback and Evanescence and Fall Out Boy and like Miley Cyrus, not Hannah Montana, but Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
But Hannah Montana for a while, and then Miley Cyrus and that kind of thing. So it's like I love the pop punk world that came out of like the late 90s, early 2000s in like the pop world, right? Like even Everlife, just those cute like pop punk like bands. And that's my thing. Like that's what I love. And if I can attach a country narrative to that in the sense of if I can write a song that has characters, right? And story growth and all of that kind of stuff and it sound like Fall Out Boy, that's the coolest thing on the planet for me.
That's awesome.
And I feel like the closest thing we ever got to that sonically was Halos and Horns, which is a song that I
that's
put
a
out.
great song.
And I love it. And so ever since Halos and Horns, everything has been geared that kind of in that way. So we just finished working on an EP, and everything follows. And Grass in the Grave is the first release of the EP. So everything sonically is very much like that.
So there is an EP coming out. Oh, that's awesome. Will
Everything
it
is sonically very much like that.
24 this year?
I'm thinking it will be fall, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to put it out this year. We've been playing a song on the road for years. That's called Rolling Stone. And then if it had a parenthesis title, it would be Sincerely. You know what I mean? And so the EP is called Sincerely.
Oh, well, nice.
And
Okay.
so I'm very, very excited to put out this EP. And the last album that we put out, I felt like I worked really hard to write a bunch of rooms for people to live in that they needed, kind of thing. And this time I took time to write 5 songs to really tell people who Allie is and kind of like what my world looks like and that kind of thing. So I don't know that it's very commercial, but I'm very excited to put this project out.
The beautiful thing about you, Allie, and I knew this when I first interviewed you, I think it was back in November, is that the true artists, the way that you just described that album that came out in, was it 2020? How you wrote the songs for a space for certain people to live through and to be like encouraged by,
Yeah.
You really take time and really pursue that. That's awesome to hear you explain that each song was like a room for people to.
That's what somebody did for me. You know what I mean? Like, growing up, I fell in love with songs that gave me 3 minutes to feel a type of way. And I didn't have to explain to somebody else, And I didn't have to, and I also didn't even have to put myself in it. It's almost like I could feed off of somebody else's sadness for a minute, so I didn't have to be, kind of thing. And so I grew up living in rooms like that. I grew up having songs that created safe spaces for me. And so the only reason that I would even know or think to do that now is because somebody did it for me.
That's powerful. And so with this new EP, they're going to people, especially your fans who are diehard followers of you, especially on social media, they're going to get to see a little peek of who Allie is.
This is the first time I've written a project that lets you come into my room, and I'm very scared of that.
Vulnerable
I don't let people into my room.
Right.
One, I know where everything is. What if you come in and move something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
So I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited. Also, it's funny, as an artist who loves to live, in the spotlight and do the thing. It's like, Allie Colleen isn't about Allie, which is very comfortable for me. Like, Allie Colleen isn't about Allie, and this project is about Allie, so it's a little spooky. But I think it's that next level of connection to that myself and fans both desire, because as much as I love all the artists I love right now, there aren't a lot of artists right now that I feel like I personally know a thing about.
Right.
And part of me loves that, right?
Yeah,
I don't care, do your thing. Like,
Yeah.
I want to love your music, that's it. And the other part of me is like, what do you do on your weekends? You know what I mean? Like, not even what do you do, like, what do you think about on your weekends?
Yeah.
And I think that this EP really lets people into maybe what I think about.
I just thought of something as you were saying that. When you were on the show, it was the week or the 2 nights after CMA Awards, and Lainey won Entertainer. And I remember you saying you cried and just went so excited. She won the dadgum thing again the other night, Allie.
No.
What in the world? That's awesome. But you...
I know. No, it's incredible watching somebody be absolutely nothing but themselves and be rewarded for it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like as an artist, I watch a lot of people be something that that they're expected to be and be rewarded for it. And I think that takes an incredible character, and I think it takes a lot of work, and I think it's admirable. But I don't know what they get to take with them to go to sleep at night. You know what I mean? And Lainey just goes to sleep at night. You know what I mean? In my brain, I don't know Lainey, so I don't know what her world is like in her brain. But to me, that woman wakes up and goes to sleep Lainey, and I just think that, and that's what I want to do. And I think that's been a big encouragement for me, is seeing artists like her and Ashley McBride, and Hunter Girl, and just friends of mine just be themselves and finally be seen for it. And I'm like, well, gosh darn it, if it takes me 20 extra years to be seen, I don't care, as long as when I am seen, it's as Allie.
That's big.
So that's why, kind of going forward now, that's what we're working on project-wise, is Allie stuff.
I love that.
It's spooky. I don't think I do.
I think the payoff's going to be bigger than what you expect. But I understand it can be uncomfortable, especially to be vulnerable to so many people listening to what you put down on paper. What's the writing process like for this new EP? The co-writes, or did you stick with some of the same co-writers?
I stuck with my people, and I think that's a huge part of it. A lot of it are the writers of Halos and Horns, so that's Eric Dodd and Stephen Huntley. And Eric Dodd wrote probably 4 or 5 of the songs on the Stone album.
He's Georgia boy,
We've been writing forever. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then Stephen, the opposite, he's a Knoxville boy. So Stephen's Knoxville, and then Eric's Georgia. And so I wrote a lot with them. And then I wrote a lot. 2 of them came from like a retreat with just like girlfriends of mine, which was very personal.
Like a songwriter retreat?
Yeah, like a songwriter
nice.
retreat with girlfriends of mine. So that kind of dove into my personal life and kind of went into that kind of thing. And so a lot of it, the writing part was uncomfortable, which I haven't experienced before, because when I write about myself, I write by myself. You know what I mean? Like, and so all of it's been uncomfortable. And it's been, I think, the most rewarding project yet.
Any tears shed? through the process of like writing, like getting that vulnerable, or
Dog,
is it
I
just?
cried on the way here. I cry all the time. I do. I cry. I can't wear bottom mascara if I cry. Like, absolutely not. No, I cried on the way here. But I will tell you something that's not super normal for me. I laughed a lot writing this album.
Really?
Yeah. I was crying at the same time, but
Okay.
I laughed a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I got to experience emotions with people. And I don't feel like I do that a lot. I feel like I work really hard to kind of be like, I know what emotions I'm going to evoke from you guys. Like, I already know. You're fine. You're not bamboozled. I was bamboozled writing this a lot. And I'm grateful for that, I think.
Man, that you describing the past 15 minutes, describing the way this whole process of this new EP makes me want to listen to it. Like, you know what I mean? You've
Yes!
sold me.
That's the point!
But yeah, just knowing that you've poured your heart into it, I really can't wait to hear a little more about Allie through these songs.
Oh, that makes me excited. It also makes me anxious. That makes me hope that you like it.
Oh, I will. I will. While We're Still Friends, this came out after I talked to you the last time, so I love the song.
Thank you.
With the one and only Lee Bryce, and you also toured with Lee.
Yeah.
So
That was incredible.
yeah.
So I sat down to write this song with Lee and his wife Sarah, and Miss Sarah Bryce and I, like, she wrote Stones, which is the title track for the last album. Like,
okay.
she's wrote Wildflower with me.
Yeah.
Most of like my staple Allie stuff, Sarah's been a
nice.
part of.
Okay.
So we finally, honestly, just invited Lee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're like, hey, we do really well, so we don't know if we want you here, but you can come on in. And he crushed it, as always. While We're Still Friends kicked my butt because Lee had the title, and I was trying to be all impressive. I was trying to impress Lee, and I, be the cool kid. And he was like, I have this title. It's called While We're Still Friends. And I said, oh, I get it. And he goes, do you? I said, yeah. Like, hey, like, while we're still friends and, like, while we're buddies, let's see if we love each other. Like, let's try this, right? Like, let's date. Like, and then, maybe it won't be. And he goes, no. That's so far from what it is. He's like, it's while we're still friends. Let's break up. Like,
Yeah.
while we still love each other, let's do this. And I was like, have you been in my brain? What are you doing? And at the time, I was in a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
I was an absolute beautiful relationship. And I wrote this song with Lee and Sarah in February 21st, I think, of 21.
Oh, okay.
And went home that day and had the conversation with my husband of exactly what the song is. Like,
Oh,
hey,
wow.
I love you and you love me, and, like, this isn't going where we wanted it to. And we both have a lot of pride in the promises that we made and the vows that we made. And I want to see you have a great rest of your life, and I also want to too. So, like, while we're still friends, how about we talk about this? And
Golly,
it absolutely killed me. And so that's also why it took us 2 or 3 years to put it out, because I wasn't going to put it out while that was my world,
Right.
out of respect for me and my partner. And so that's also where Grass in the Grave, comes from. It's kind of the sequel of that. And I've also told my friends, this town's so wild because it's like, if you break up or you get a divorce or whatever, your friends, the first question is, hey, you good? And the next question is, so do you have any, like, song titles or, like, hooks yet? And I'm like, gosh darn it, you guys, we're not doing this. So I had a lot of friends reach out. I said, guys, we're not doing a divorce album. We get 2 songs. We get 2 songs.
That's it.
And now I've used them, so we're done. I used my 2 songs, so.
Do you think that While We're Still Friends may have kind of broke the ice for this new side of Allie, this EP?
I think that it did, because as beautifully sonically as it was, very much like Wildflower and all of this more sweet singer-songwriter, powerful vocalist stuff that we've been doing, it also has that whole end last chorus that's just kind of ripping and grungy and kind of tough. You know what I mean? And I think that really sets up what Grass in the Grave did vocally as well, and all the electric guitars in it and stuff. There is a guitar solo in one of these songs on the EP that I can't see. And I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like when you hear even a vocal riff or a guitar riff, and like you can see the ball hitting all the little things, right, as it's going down. I can't on this one. And I'm going to have to find a player to go on the road with me that can play it, because the studio musician's like, I'm not letting on the road. And I'm like, you can't drop a solo like that on a song and expect anyone else to play it. That's insane.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait. I can't wait for the performance of this album, and I also can't wait for the release of it for people to spend time with on their own.
That's exciting. That really is exciting.
I'm very excited.
Do you have a part in producing?
Yes. So I picked everybody. I handpicked every musician on the project because they were all on previous projects of mine, and handpicked all of them. Really sat with my producer for a very long time on all of it, and really got to sit in that chair for a little while. And and I'm so proud of everyone that I've worked with in the past, because if it wasn't for Joe Costa, who produced Stones, and Ben and Jared Neiman and Lee Bryce, who produced everything, if it wasn't for being this small little ant in a room for years who got to watch these guys work and do their thing, I wouldn't have been able to go into this project with like the knowledge and intention that I did on what I wanted it to sound like. So that's always just the biggest encouragement I can give to anyone in this town is be the ant for a little while. Like, I think it's very normal for people to come to this town and think, I have to prove myself, I have to be big, I have to be the biggest one in the room. Yeah. Come to this town and be the small guy in the room for a little while. Because one, all you're going to do is learn and maybe impress someone. You know what I mean? Like, heck yeah. So I've been doing that for years. I've been the ant for a little while, and I'm pretty ready to get to show, what we've been working on.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Couple more things. So June 29th, you're playing at the Keith Whitley Memorial Bike Ride.
Yeah.
Guess who's the MC?
Is it you?
It's me.
Yeah, no. I'm going to be there.
I know. Jesse called me this week and said, you know what, why don't you just do the MC? Because I'm putting together all the slides and all that. And so I said, well, I'm interviewing Allie Thursday. He goes, no way. So you'll be there. You'll be putting on a show.
That's going to be a really cool night. I'm really excited about it.
Me too.
I mean, just looking at the lineup of it, looking at the rounds too of just guys that are going to acoustically play Keith stuff. I think that's incredible. Getting to do full band stuff and getting to do Lori stuff is absolutely incredible and a huge honor. So I'm very excited. Yeah. I love Hannah Dasher. Right?
Me
I love
too.
Hannah Dasher. So she's going to be there.
Oh.
So who cares?
I want to go hang out in her kitchen.
I think I have a lot of things in my life that I'm very proud of and I'll flex on, but the fact that Hannah made me a birthday cake one year is I think one of my things. I'm like,
I love the retro throwback, all that stuff. I'm excited to see her. Jesse talks really highly of her.
I love Hannah. I love Hannah. She's been very, very kind to me. Always. That's
awesome to hear. Man, she's so good. And then this past weekend I was at June Jam doing all these cool backstage interviews, and we were asking artists these fun questions. Here's my fun question for you. In the history of all music, albums, country, pop, whatever, if you could have been a fly on the wall for one historical album to be made to see that process, what do you think?
I'm pretty sure that this is the title track of the album, but I could be wrong. But I would say Thriller.
That is the title track,
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, to see how he put it together. I mean, how do you...
Just to be there, just to see what they ordered for lunch, dog. Like, who cares? Like, just to be around.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. That. And then I would also have to say, I would love to see how Ashley McBryde does her vocals.
Good
like
Lord.
How she does her vocal takes and like how she does like her booth. Like if she, and then I didn't know this. So when I go in for a tracking day, I sing every single time the band plays. If the band plays, I'm singing. Like I'll do live vocals all day long. Okay. And even if overdubbings, if you want it. Like if I feel like your electric guitar needs to feed off of an emotional vocal, then I'm gonna sing along with you. I learned in the last year, just by someone being like, are you really going back in there to sing? You don't have to do it. Like the band's got the stuff. Like most people don't do this because I think he was just tired of like running my mic all day and like getting it out of the room. That people don't do that. And so that made me, I don't know that I'd never really thought about it before, how other people do their vocal process, but now I want to see how Ashley does it. I think it would be so cool because her final, like her masters come out so intentional vocally for me, like how she sang it, and I just wonder if that's, if she's a one-take freaking person, or if she really comped by syllable, or if she comped by word, or what. But I think that would be an incredible thing to do a lot. In the present day would be Ashley McBryde. But anything that Michael's ever worked on, I would call me fly. That's me. Cool. I would want to be there.
Okay. I told
What's yours?
The Highwayman. The Highwayman album.
Yeah, I like that. You're like, I got it. Don't worry.
The one that came out in 85 or 84, it was just called, that album was just called The Highwayman, or and it was, of course, all four of them. I just want to just be in the room with them.
That's freaking sick.
Yeah.
I have a song that I wrote that I have pitched to an artist who has promised me they will collab on it. I can't tell you. Who knows if it'll ever happen, but they've said that they would. And it's called It's Our Turn. And it's about, like, people, like, kind of me. Like, it's our turn. Like, in the music industry, like, it's our turn. Like, it's our turn to do this. And the opening line is, like, the highwaymen said to hell with that, paved their own road, never came back kind of thing. And it just, like, features off of, like, those outlaws that just did it. You know what I mean? And just, like, unapologetically did it.
Yeah.
And so that's very cool. That would be absolutely insane to see how they did that.
into yeah.
Just them in one room.
God, could you?
Like I said, just lunch would be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just eat the crumbs, Johnny.
Yeah, for real.
Oh man, Allie, you're a dog. You're awesome. You're such a. I'm not just saying this, but this past few minutes, I have been sold on you because of what you said about your new EP.
Thank you.
I'm not joking, and because you can tell, you can see it in my eyes.
I'll send it to you. I'll Dropbox it to you.
Drop
today
that.
if you want
Drop
it.
it.
You can have it.
It's
I'll send it to you.
I'm sold, and now I'm gonna promote the out of it
Please.
because of I just got
That's what I
sold on
need.
it. So
That's what I need.
I don't tell everybody that, do I, Sawyer?
Well, it's on tape now. We all heard it. So.
Well, thank you so much, Allie. You're awesome, and y'all be on the lookout for later this year for the EP that's going to tell so much more about this person. Yeah, and she's awesome. She's got and I'll be dropping off her links. She's active on TikTok and Instagram. Are you still cooking any? You're not cooking any or makeup?
Makeup. Yes.
Cooking. You're like.
I was like, I mean, I put what I eat on my story all the time, dog. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a parfait on there right now. But
Yeah. So makeup.
Makeup,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I do creepy makeup. So July's coming up, and so all October I do Halloween content, but July I do like spooky content because it's
really
my birthday
good.
month. So we'll be doing cosplays July, you guys. So follow me on Instagram.
That's awesome.
We get ready on Facebook Live. We post it on Instagram. We post it on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Take care, Allie, and y'all go check her out.